Hey guys, thank you for joining me this afternoon. So, the reason why you're here is because we're trialing a new class, and that is our rest, relax, and repair class. And what we're really aiming to do with this class is to help you guys get into a state of relaxation by equipping you guys with some tools that you may find helpful. They're tried and tested methods, and we're going to be experimenting with a few of these different methods. Now, Cam, Mark, and I have used probably each a combination of all of these types of things. So we're talking breath work, meditation, active meditation. Things like Tai Chi is a form of active meditation, uh, or what we refer to as working in, which is essentially uh, movements timed with our breathing. So we're really aiming to enter what is called a parasympathetic state, and we're activating our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest, digest, and repair nervous system. And so there's some metrics we can use to measure our level of how active our parasympathetic nervous system is. One of those is through our heart rate variability, and so that is through the uh, time between our heartbeats. So, to explain a little bit further and to give you guys an example, say someone's heart is beating 60 times per minute. Our heart rate variability would dictate that a high heart rate variability would mean that instead of beating once every second for 60 seconds, our heart is actually beating uh, at variable times. And so a high heart rate variability is a sign of good health, a sign that our organs and our body is just working in a synchronistic state. So tonight I'm going to run you guys through a meditation. I'm going to also give you some breath work to do at the same time. Tonight's meditation is called a contract and relax meditation. And so what we are doing is we are contracting certain muscles, we're turning them on, we're putting some tone into them, and then we're relaxing them, and we're really kind of melting into that feeling of relaxation. And so a lot of us, many of us will find, as I've mentioned before, when we're in a stress state, we're kind of bringing our shoulders up, we're engaging our traps and our scapula, and that's an example of where we're contracting but not relaxing. And so you might find throughout this meditation that you're contracting some muscles that you weren't aware you were contracting. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is to contract that muscle even more, put some more tension into it, and then once you're conscious that that's what you're doing, I'm going to ask you to melt into that and to relax. And so the breathing method that we're going to be using tonight is box breathing. You guys, many of you guys would have done this before. What we're doing when we're box breathing is we are breathing in for 4 seconds, we're holding for 4 seconds at the top of our inhalation, we're exhaling for 4 seconds, and we're holding an exhale, what we call an exhale retention, for 4 seconds before we start the process over again. And so for myself personally, I use certain devices to measure my heart rate variability, and this is a very effective method of entering what we refer to as coherence, which is high heart rate variability, where our organs are synchronized with our heart. And what we are, to explain a little bit more, working on is a vagal nerve, which is a nerve which runs from our brain to our heart and to our organs, and effectively we are increasing our vagal nerve tone. So let's get into the meditation. I'm going to take a couple of box breaths with you guys just to walk you through the process. I'm going to set a timer, and then I'm going to walk you through the meditation. So we're breathing in for 4 seconds. I don't actually have a timer with me right now. So we're breathing in for 4 seconds, we're holding for 4 seconds, we're exhaling for 4 seconds, and we're holding it on the exhalation for 4 seconds. So breathing in with me, holding for 4 seconds, holding for 4 seconds, and breathing in for 4 seconds. And I'm going to ask you guys to continue breathing in this fashion while I walk you through the meditation. So following along with the timer as it dings, you're inhaling and continuing the process. Inhaling, holding, exhaling, holding. So we're going to start with our shoulders. So I'm going to ask you guys as we go through this meditation, I'm not going to explain everything, I'm just going to ask you guys to do it. So starting with our shoulders, I want you to bring them up towards your ears, put some tension into them, and relaxing. And really feeling the energy, the blood rush to those muscles and then away from those muscles. Continuing to breathe deeply. Pinching your shoulder blades together at the same time. I'm going to ask you guys to bring your focus towards your forehead, raising your eyebrows, creating tension in your forehead as much as you can, continuing to breathe and then relaxing. The next thing I'm going to ask you guys to do is to tense the muscles in the front of our neck. Now you can see the tone I'm putting in through my neck muscles as I do this, holding that tension there for a second and then relaxing. Continuing to breathe deeply. Next, we're moving on to our hands. Pulling our fists together like this, squeezing, getting white knuckles, continuing to breathe deeply, opening our hands and then relaxing them. Curling our hands, tensing our forearms, feeling that tension, feeling that feeling of uncomfortability, feeling the blood rushing into our forearms, and then relaxing. Moving on to our biceps, tensing my biceps, feeling the tension in them, feeling that discomfort, breathing deeply and relaxing. Moving on to my triceps, I'm straightening my arms, I'm creating tension in my triceps, I'm feeling them firm up, and then I'm relaxing. Expanding our diaphragm as we breathe. We want the first 2/3 of our breath to fill our diaphragm and the last third to fill our chest. After this, we're going to move on to our chest. So, creating tension in our pecs, squeezing our chest, holding for 3 seconds. You can feel tension through your upper back at this time as well, and relaxing. Breathing deeply. Next, we're moving on to our abdominals. So, turning your six-pack on, pushing all the air out of your stomach, feeling the tension in our six-pack, feeling how much harder it makes it for us to breathe. Many of us are unconsciously turning our six-packs on all day. And so releasing that tension, feeling the energy rush away from your abs and throughout the rest of your body. Next, we're going to do our lats, these muscles under our arms, tensing them, creating that tension, maybe pushing down on the arms of your chair, and then relaxing. Excellent work. Pausing for a second to run through 2 more cycles of box breathing. Breathing with me now. Inhaling. feeling more relaxed, letting go of the stresses of our day as we go. Now we're moving into the lower half of our body. So next, I'm going to ask you to squeeze your glutes together. Feel yourself rise off the chair a little bit as you put tension through your glutes, activating those big muscles. You're going to feel the blood rush towards them. And as we're relaxing, falling back down into our chair, melting back down into the floor or the chair we're sitting on. And just allowing that sensation of relaxation and melting to come over our bodies. Continuing to breathe deeply. The next thing we're going to do, if you're able to, is tense our hamstrings. So I'm putting my toe into the floor, I'm raising my heel off the ground, and I'm feeling my hamstring tense. Feeling both of my hamstrings. I'm going to hold that for a couple of seconds. Really feel that tension. And relaxing. Remembering that many of us are creating tension in our muscles throughout the day in a response to stress. And so remembering to become conscious of this throughout your entire day. The more you practice this, the more you're going to become aware of where you're holding tension in your body. Continuing to breathe deeply. Moving on to our quads now. So if you're sitting in a chair, straightening your leg out, straightening both of your legs out at the same time, and feeling those quads tense up, harden up. Holding that, locking our knees out. Feeling the blood rush towards our quads. And relaxing and continuing to breathe deeply. Breathing in, holding. Breathing out, holding. Breathing in, holding. Breathing out, holding. Consciously letting go of anything we're holding on to from our day. Any stresses we may have experienced at work, any fights or arguments that we may have had, anything that's sitting in the back of our mind that we can let go of for just 10 or 15 minutes while we do this. Next, we're moving on to our calves. So, again, tensing that calf muscle. For me, I'm pointing my toes off the floor. I'm doing both my calves at the same time. Hardening those calf muscles up, feeling the blood rush into my calves. I'm just holding that there for a minute. Continuing to breathe deeply. You'll also notice while you're holding tension in your muscles, it becomes harder to breathe, especially diaphragmatically. We're really aiming while we're meditating also, and while we're performing this exercise, to breathe through our nose. That's going to stimulate the fine hairs inside our nostrils, which stimulate a parasympathetic state. And continuing to breathe deeply as we relax. The next thing I'm going to ask you to do is to ball your feet up, curl your toes towards your heels, moving your toes off the ground and holding tension in your feet. Really squeezing those feet, creating as much tension as we can. The more tension we can create, the more relaxed we're going to feel when we finally release that tension. And so releasing that now, continuing to breathe deeply and feeling what it feels like now that your whole body is relaxed. And breathing deeply with me. continuing to breathe deeply for another few minutes. Allowing your body to sink into the floor or to sink into the chair you're sitting on. Using this as a metaphor for allowing our problems to melt away for just a minute while we rest and relax. Now, I really want to emphasize for you guys not just the mental and emotional and spiritual benefits of practicing something like this, but also the physical benefits, the benefits our body gets from reducing our stress, from reducing our cortisol levels, our adrenaline levels, our stress hormones, and just allowing, especially before bed, for those beautiful anabolic rest and repair hormones to flood our bodies, to put us into a state of relaxation, ready for bed. And coming up towards the last breath of this meditation, just thanking yourself for taking this time and continuing to breathe as we wrap this up. Thank you for joining me, guys. See you on Thursday. All right, thanks. Bye.